So here we are, ready to storm Giratina Tower. We have a really large assortment of feral ones facing us, and I'll cover the most dangerous one first, the dragons. They have a lot of strength, and defense, and HP. They hit very, very hard, also 95 weight, so yeah, you're not getting colossus on these guys. At all, so don't even try. They're basically generals on steroids. Luna works pretty well against them, they have pretty good resistance, but Thunder Magic is effective too. There's also this dragon in particular. He's a little higher level than the others, and his strength is absurd. On Maniac mode, this guy tends to have 40 strength, so that hurts a lot. We also have an assortment of Bjork enemies, including a paladin here with a rune sword, another one here with a spear, sniper with a longbow over here. We have some sages with A-rank tomes, so Bolganone, Thoron, and there's someone, yeah, there you are, you have Tornado. We also have, speaking of sages, the boss, General Hedwig, as I like to call him. He's a very interesting boss because he has Rex Bolt, the S-ranked Thunder Tome. It's pretty powerful and has a decent crit rate. It's also very heavy, in fact, he's losing 4 speed with this. Really, only Ileana is likely to be able to use this. This is also the only obtainable S-ranked tome in the game. Rex Flame and Rex Caliber do exist in the game's code, but they're not available. This guy's not going to spend much time using this though, he's going to be spending most of his time using bolting. Also, this bishop down here with the sleep staff, you want to watch out for him, because you don't want to be put to sleep around some dragons. I know from experience that in this game, I now know this, if you're asleep, you can't dodge. So that means if you get hit by a bunch of dragons while asleep, that's not going to end well. There's also a few ravens over here. They like to hang out in these forests where there's not that much space to maneuver. A few hawks too. This really annoying guy with a meteor tome. I'm going to be sending Jill to deal with him quickly. And some feral one tigers who are kind of strong, and also some feral cats who are, well, pretty pathetic actually. So, let's choose our units here. I'm okay with most of the units here, except here's the thing, we have room for Volk, and I'm actually going to bring him, but I won't use him for combat. There's a reason for this. As much as I like shoving, and as much as Ranulf really needs to be here, I'm going to not bring Ranulf here. I am going to bring Bastion. Reason being, I've looked up Volk and Bastion support. It turns out they take 0 chapters to reach a C support, which means that they automatically have a C even if you don't deploy Volk in chapter 24. Since I did, that's 1 chapter, so that's enough for a B, and they get an A rank in 2 chapters. So 1 more chapter and I might be able to get their A rank, and since that's a pretty good sequel hook to Radiant Dawn, I thought I might as well go for that. So that's what I'll be doing here. Now Jill might start out fairly far forward, Titania can afford to be a little bit far back, Nasir's just going to hang around until his transform gauge fills up. I need to remember I have Provoke on him, so he's going to be taking the brunt of things like Bolting and Meteor, which might be useful to me actually. And I think, yeah, this should pretty much do it. So, let's move out. And first things first, Ike, direct, halt. Otherwise, Tiban is going to be stealing all my experience here, because yeah, here's Tiban, and if you let him, he's going to ruin everything for you in terms of experience. So let's not do that. Right, I think for now, Jill's going to fly over here and try and snipe this guy with her Flame Lance. Or Flam Lance, to use the bad fanfiction spelling. Stop flammin' my feral ones, K. So that's 1 enemy down. I also want Mist to fight a bit in this chapter because she's very close to getting a B rank in swords. Well, actually, she's close to getting a C rank in swords, which by extension is close to getting a B rank in swords because of the arm scroll that I still have in reserve. So Geisha's going to go around here, even though I kind of doubt they're going to go for him. Nefany will head down here. I think I'll equip that just in case the warrior decides to attack her. Because she can't really one-round a lot of the enemies in this area anyway. And I think Soren should be okay, provided that he's in support range of Ike. So let's have Soren go here. Going to go ahead and equip the Elf Undertome. And yeah, Stefan can head up here. And I want to make sure that I don't accidentally, well, yeah, that I don't let Rayson get attacked. Because that's not going to end well for anyone. Especially not Rayson. Maybe I could send Soren out and have him attack a few things, but I'm a little worried. I mean, Soren is not Sand, so he can't stand in the middle of an entire army and survive every attack that comes his way. Yeah, for now I think I'll keep him back. Speaking of keeping them back, I'll leave these two back. Nasir annoyingly only has 5 movements in human form. And I need to manually end all of my turns because of Vulcan Bastion. Also, I'll need to sit through the ally phase music every turn because Tiban. Yeah, normally he just flies all over the map attacking everything and just generally being awesome, but we don't want him to be awesome here because that means we'll lose experience. If this was Radiant Dawn, we wouldn't need to worry about that because all NPC units experience. That's not a kill, is it? Yeah, because that was different to Nephene's normal crit animation. But anyway, in Radiant Dawn, any experience gained by yellow partner units becomes bonus experience at the end of the chapter. Gate tree. Interesting. But you missed anyway. And I think you may be in range of Jill, so that should be good. I like to get rid of the Siege Tome users as fast as I can. Annoyingly, getting rid of the boss is a little harder because he has a dragon right in front of him, and I don't like getting myself into range of both bolting and that dragon. Because there surprisingly aren't that many people who can take a hit from both of those in the same turn. Gaedra can take hits from dragons decently well, but he doesn't really like getting hit by bolting. Now, it'd be really funny if Gaedra doubled you, but yeah, I doubt it. The crows do have about 20 speed, which is really pathetic for a late-game enemy, but by Gaedra standards, it's still fairly fast. Wow, Nephene is doing pretty well, and she's not even in Wrath range. I was about to say she is now, but no. Seriously, Nephene is being a crit monster. She must really, really hate what these people are doing at Giratina Tower, which... Can you blame her? Yeah, this is easily one of the most horrifying things in the duology. You'll see at the end of the chapter just how bad it is. And we have a bunch of birds coming at us. Okay, let's hope that that hawk didn't block off the... Yeah, looks like that's as far as Jill can go, so what I'm actually going to have to do is maybe have her hang back, and then I might need to race on her, but I'll need to keep racing out of range of cats and more birds, and yeah, I need to watch out for that guy. That means I might be taking more meteors this turn. Let me just check something. That's only one attack, though. I like to get several attacks in with Mist in this chapter because I want her to rank up her swords. But doing this would eliminate one of the birds, so let's go ahead and do that. Having a 24 hit rate on Mist in the forest is pretty impressive, admittedly, given how high her speed and luck are. And she will stay in said forest. And Ike, I actually do have to be a bit careful of. Not so much because he's in danger, but more because he's so powerful that he could easily level up to 20 here. And while I'd normally like that, I want to make it so that I can reset for his final level up because I want to make sure that he gains 1 point of speed. That will save me a speed wing. If I save a speed wing here, then if I don't get lucky with Jill's speed growth, this, I really should give her a band that increases, because there aren't... Okay, there's one archer here, but there is also Tornado, so maybe equipping the full guard's good, given that that exists. Let's see, let's, actually, Titania might be able to finish off this cat here. Exactly enough damage, nice. Even Lagoo's axes with very few uses left can still also Pointless Soul, nice. Can still be kind of useful here, but I like to save them for the dragons, because this game doesn't have dedicated dragon-slaying weapons. Although in the game's code, some of the Lagoo-slaying weapons are referred to by the names of dragon-slaying weapons that existed in earlier games in the series. So, like, for example, I believe the Lagoo's Lance is called Dragon Lance in the game's data. And I think the Lagoo's Axe is Dragon Axe. I'm not sure about the Lagoo's Slayer, as in the sword. But that might imply that Lagoo's weren't originally planned to be in the game, and originally it was just going to be dragons. Like traditional Fire Emblem games, but I don't know, I do... I mean, from a story standpoint, I really like the Lagoos. From a gameplay standpoint, though, I admit they could have been implemented much, much better than they actually were here. Yeah, gameplay-wise, the Lagoos are... They were a good idea, but I prefer the Beast Shifters in Awakening, just having them operate on the same system as Dragonstones. It made them a lot more useful overall. I can javelin this guy. There are some Lagoos in this game that are pretty good. Like Leth and Mordecai. Well, Mordecai's more useful for smiting, but Leth is really great early in the game. And she doesn't drop off until quite later on. And then in Radiant Dawn, there are a few extremely good Lagoos, but then there are a lot of extremely bad ones. Radiant Dawn revamped the Lagoo system a little bit, but in some senses it was kind of worse. Yeah, I'll talk more about that once I actually get to Radiant Dawn. I know I say that a lot, but I'm actually close to Radiant Dawn now, so might as well be talking about this kind of thing. I don't want to waste too many uses of this, but it's not likely that Jill will get attacked by many one-range enemies in this enemy phase, so I might as well do this. Sorry, Hawk. It is kind of weird that you get 2 generic Hawks, but you don't ever recruit a generic Raven in this game. I kind of wish you did. Alright, you do have Bolganone, but you're probably still going to go for Meteor. In fact, let me just check something. Dragon in human form magnets. And that means I can't Racinify Jill, and I also need to be careful because, yeah, last time I played this chapter, I accidentally moved Racin into range of an enemy, and that was embarrassing. He didn't die, but it was still really embarrassing, so I want to avoid doing that if I can. To that end, I will... I did it again, didn't I? Great. And I don't have anyone in place to shove. Just going on about how embarrassing that was, and then I do it again. I really don't want to rescue him either, because if I do, then he won't be able to chant next turn. And yeah, I can't put Mist in a position to block because you'll just fly up there, and I can't direct with Ike to move Tivan down there because Ike has already ended his turn. Another thing that's different in Radiant Dawn. In Radiant Dawn, you can still use the direct command even if your Lord has finished moving. Although Provoke is still a thing, let's test what wins, Provoke or Racin. Also High Cat. Not sure it's that smart attacking Stefan while he has a Silver Blade equipped. And he immediately showed why. Anyway, I'm kind of glad they're avoiding Ike. I don't normally say that, but now I think about it, I really should have got Ike to level 20 on the base this chapter, because that would mean that I could use him to my heart's content in this map. But everyone is getting very close to level 20, and okay, Provoke worked on that. Let's see if it works on the Crow. Come on, Crow. Like I said, who wins? Yep, Racin beats Provoke, I thought so. So, this is pretty much living proof that Provoke isn't always effective. If the enemy has someone really vulnerable like Racin that they can target, they'll usually go for Racin. Well, at least it's only going to cost 1 use of the Lagoo's axe each time. Also, there's the benefit of having a Wyvern... Oh, actually 2 uses, because Hawks have pretty good HP. But yeah, this is the benefit of having a Wyvern Lord with max defense. Having a flying tank is always useful, unless that flying tank's name is Suck Bucky. I still love that nickname. He could have been better. I just feel like he should have had at least a 50% or even 60% growth in strength and defense. I like the idea of a tanky Pegasus Knight in theory. I know that Wyvern Lords already fill that niche, but it would be kind of interesting to have a Pegasus Knight, like almost the Pegasus equivalent of a Great Knight, though again, that is kind of Wyvern Lords. Now, I'm pretty sure this happens on turn 3, regardless of how close you are to the tower. Yep, it's everyone's favorite traitor, back again. So, he dressed as the enemy to infiltrate their facility. Does that count as a backstab? I'm gonna count that as a backstab. But yes, here's another big aspect of Nasala. Of course, Lagoos don't really change much, even in 20 years. So yeah, this was implied earlier, but, Nasala and Leanne kind of have a thing going. I'm sure she has no complaints about that. And for now, they don't need to worry about becoming a meal for one of their insane cousins because they're technically off the map. I like how their map models are still there, but they're not part of the map, so you don't need to worry about them getting attacked. Even if they did, though, Nasala's pretty amazing, and I can't believe I went on about how embarrassing it would be to have Raisin get attacked and then let him get attacked. At least I proved a point with Provoke, so obviously it was all part of my plan. Miss gets hit, but Raisin doesn't. Raisin had less of an evade rate too, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I want to have Miss get some attacks in, because I really want her to rank up her swords. And now I can finally do what I wanted to do with Jill since the beginning. Not that. That. Because what I sometimes like to do is have Jill fly around to the side of the tower near where Nasala and Leanne are. Does mean she gets hit by bolting, though. But she can usually take one bolting. That's another case where I'm glad this isn't Radiant Dawn. And if she moves just right, the dragon can't get her. Yeah, the dragons won't be able to get her if she goes up here. I am right about that, right? Yes, I am right about that, which is good. The rune sword can unfortunately get her from over there, though, which is a bit of a problem. And I am going to be breaking Wyvern here, but I can always forge another one next chapter. Even though next chapter is the last chance I ever have to forge anything. Speaking of dragons, there's one down there, and I usually like having Gatry lure him, but I could have Ike lure him too. Ike tends to do pretty well. Of course, I could be an even better dragon lure if dragons had 1 to 2 range in this game, but anyway. Yeah, I think for now, Ike's going to go down here, because he's not going to one-round that dragon unless he ethers, which he actually quite well might. Soren is a little behind in experience, but if he goes here, he'll be near Ike, and then he can just L-Wind this guy. Even with effectiveness, you're only doing 1 more damage than L-Thunder, because L-Wind. Well, just because wind in general. Yeah, makes me kind of glad they removed the wind effectiveness against Flyers in Radiant Dawn, because it's not like it really did much. But then again, they actually buffed the Might of Wind quite a lot in Radiant Dawn, so maybe it would have done much there. So maybe I'm not glad they removed that. Anyway, let's, depending on how things go, I might even be able to get transfer bonuses on Titania. It's not going to be that critical to Radiant Dawn, because, so you get to see a critical animation with her cannon weapon, quote-unquote. But it's not going to be that important in Radiant Dawn because Titania is already strong to begin with, and when I do get to Radiant Dawn, I'm probably only going to be using Titania in Part 3. Because she's still really good, but Paladins got nerfed heavily in that game. They just don't have that much in the way of camps, I find. So, usually they aren't the best to bring to endgame. I did bring Titania to endgame a few times in Radiant Dawn, but only because I had extra slots, and guess that means no real reason not to. I kind of want Gage to go down there, but I also kind of want Ike to fight the dragon, so let's have Ike fight the dragon for now. Speaking of dragons, Nasia will be dragoning soon. I'm going to start using that as a verb now because it comes from... So there was a fanfic I was reading and it was kind of funny that basically, there was an author's note where the author said they typoed had to drag the wagon as had to dragon, and they thought that sounded amazing. So, yeah, there are so many contexts where you can use that. Nasia had to dragon. Chapter 5 of Fire Emblem Fates. Corrin had no choice. He had to dragon. And so on and so forth. Okay, I can let Soren heal you later, so it's probably fine that you're, not using a vulnerary there. Okay, you guys are probably just going to be going for Jill first. And you're suffering weapon triangle disadvantage, so Jill's going to pretty much destroy you. And that's good, because that means you save more uses of Wyvern for other enemies, so useful crit there. Haven't mentioned it before, but I kind of like the way this map takes place at sunset. And no uses of the Wyvern rule here, because longbow enemies are always annoying. I find there aren't many Fire Emblem games where longbows are actually that much of a threat. I guess except the final side quest chapter in New Mystery of the Emblem, that could get pretty annoying with the longbows. Because they like to shoot you over walls, and it's a fog of war map, and you're slowly advancing down narrow corridors. With the boss having Meteor. I kind of like the concept of that map, actually. That was always pretty fun. It's not often that I describe a fog of war map as fun, but I kind of like that one. And I think that there were some kind of threatening longbows in that one early Hector exclusive chapter in Blazing Sword. Talons of Light, I think it was called. I remember there being a lot of annoying longbows in that chapter, and oh boy, please don't hit. Okay, I know for a fact Jill can take bolting from that much HP, so I'm not that worried. But she will just barely take bolting. This is where the Vantage Guard combo on Jill would have been amazing. I'm still regretting giving Vantage to Nephany, because she's never really been able to... Yeah, that makes sense. Never really been able to make good use of that, whereas in another playthrough I gave Jill Vantage and Guard, and that was really fun with hand axes. She would just go first, hit them, and they wouldn't be able to counterattack her. So, this guy has some pretty funny dialogue, I find. Yeah, just barely. Oh boy, please cat, don't do 2 damage. That would be really bad. Don't know if that cat can even reach her, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't do any damage anyway. Yeah, as much as Dragon Breath looks range in this game, it's not. Yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought because I was worried about you. But it looks like you're not going to be able to damage Jill anyway, but I really need to physic her, or fortify. Well, it's not Tiban, so it's just friends. Because I called him off. And here's Nielucci. I feel like Nielucci may have been intended to be playable at some point. He has some unused stats in the game's data. He, I think, has his own growth rates, his own base stats. He even has his own escape quote. So it feels like he was this close to being playable. They just decided, no, we're not going to give you any generic crows. Leanne also has an escape quote and non-generic growth rates and base stats, so it seems like... I don't know if Leanne was intended to be playable or not, because she does appear on the map as an NPC, whereas Nielucci doesn't. Maybe Nielucci's stats are actually used for, like, his model being on the map here. Because I know that there is technically a Black Dragon class in this game, even though Kurth Naga never fights in this one. So, oh no, Nasala's run away. What are we going to do? It was our job to rescue Leanne, and now someone else has done it for us. Okay, I really need Jill to hit and run. Let's just... Am I in range of physic from here? I am, good. Does anyone else need physic from here? Not enough to really justify Fortify, though. I just want to be safe and do this. 36 HP heal with Physic. Mist is amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to... Yeah, a bunch of those Lagoos are probably just going to attack her on the enemy phase. So let's do this. I am still saving that Lagoos Axe because it will come in very handy for the next chapter. Because this isn't the last we'll be seeing of Feral One Dragons. They are also in endgame, and they are kind of a pain there. Jill is so close to maxing out her level. Yeah, I think you can fly all the way back here. Let's just make sure. That seems alright. Okay. I could hit you with some indignation, but also I'll explain why I'm talking like that eventually, just not quite yet. Also you. So 18 means you have 9 range. Thankfully, it just so happens that that is the end of your range. So, that's convenient. Nephany will level up if she gets the kill on this dragon, but I doubt she will, because, yeah, also it'll hurt her a lot. But it will put her in Wrath. Maybe I should do that, then. Dragons are also very, very accurate, by the way. That's something else to know about them. Yep, that's definitely Wrath. One of the few things that can reliably put Neffany in Wrath range. Red Dragons are the only enemy Dragon Lagoos will see. In fact, the boss has special dialogue for Nasir referencing that. He says, we don't have any feral ones of that color, which means it must be an enemy. He actually has some pretty great dialogue, but as I was saying though, with the Red Dragons are some of the only threatening generic enemies in all of Path of Radiance, honestly. And there aren't many of them, and they also have bad movement, so not too hard to lure them. Speaking of luring, I might put Gatry in range of the next dragon. However, I will need to be careful because of that Sleep Bishop. Also, okay, A rank, not S rank, because I was about to say, yay, pointless S rank, but then it turns out it was just an A rank. Okay, Nasir can actually shove Gatry. I'm looking forward to showing off Nasir's full dragon abilities, because he's actually surprisingly fast in dragon form, as well as very strong. And yes, strong, because white dragons still operate based on strength in this game. In Radiant Dawn, they operate based on magic, but not so much here. Just noticing the heal hedges down there. We haven't really used heal hedges all that much in this playthrough, but it's pretty typical. They're usually pretty out of the way. Alright, sorry if I went quiet for a second there. A phone rang in my house, but anyway, let us continue with Operation Lure the Dragons. Now, I really hope that Sleep misses Gatry here. Even if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Oh yeah, right, I just remembered. Rayson has a Restore Staff, so I'll need to take that back from him with Mist. But, speaking of Mist, that missed, so I don't need to worry too much, and I should have equipped a Javelin, dang it. Don't you just hate it when you realize that at the last second? That tends to happen sometimes. Benefit of hindsight, I guess. But I can probably finish off most of these guys next turn. Mostly equip the Brave Lance for the Dragon just to guarantee, not guarantee, but just give me an increased chance of getting lots of Lunas. Because Luna is probably most effective against dragons. And yeah, doing that much damage to Camp Defense Gatry with the Night Ward. But here's Luna. Also, yeah, whenever you attack dragons in this game, you hit them in a very sensitive area. Now, I was hoping you would do that, but that does waste a couple of Brave Axe uses, and I can't really afford to use the Hammer and Staff on it again, because I think I am going to be using the Hammer and Staff on Rescue, because that could really help for some of the trial maps. Because yes, I will be doing those, and I will also be going for AAA ranks in all of the trial maps. Which shouldn't be too hard. There's only one trial map that I've never AAA'd before, and it's not the one you're probably thinking of. It's not the hardest trial map. I actually AAA'd that on my first try. Despite a lot of people saying that one's actually pretty difficult to get a AAA rank on. They are pretty generous with the AAA ranks there. Now, come on, Jill, gain speed. No. Well, that's one speed wing used. I actually should mention, there is a speed wing obtainable during endgame, so there are actually 3 speed wings that I have access to. Have to remember that. Okay, so there goes Nasir, and there goes Rayson. White Heron and a White Dragon next to each other. But, yeah, bad movement. Also, there's no way anyone is shoving or smiting Nasir in this form. Which is kind of a shame, because I really want to show off how he works here. Okay, let's see if I can... The problem with this is that this annoying Sleep Bishop exists. And he should stop existing soon. I hope he will stop existing soon. Let's just get rid of the ranged guy, because otherwise he'll be annoying and throw short spears at me. Also, Gatry needs a little bit of experience. He's kind of behind compared to some of the other characters here. Speaking of behind, Soren's a little behind. I guess Soren can go and, yeah, let's just use Elf Thunder. So that's 2 dragons down. How they got their hands on Goldoans, I'll never know, but they somehow did. Considering how isolationist Goldoa is, and the fact that, you know, you'd have to physically capture a dragon. I don't know how they were able to create Feral 1 dragons, but they somehow did. Oh yeah, and that's what Aether's Sword Beam crit animation looks like. And I love how Ike still does the back turn, even from far away. I wish there were more swords like Ragnall and Elondite in the series, ones that let you do range attacks physically. Well, I mean, I guess Ryoma had one, and we all know how broken that was. And Xander also had one, and we also all know how broken that was. So, yeah, maybe I should be glad there aren't more of those. Actually, no, wait, I can get to that Hawk. Always annoying when you're just short of KOing something. And yeah, I need to avoid having Jill attack too many things now because she is capped on level, and that means that she is not gaining any experience anymore. But still, everyone else is pretty close to being capped on level. That cat can't go down there. I could have Nefanigo there, but I think it would be better for me to chant for these 4. Alternatively, I could have misfight one of them because I need her to get her sword rank up. I think I'll have misfight the boss. You can't get to racing, can you? Good, okay. Let me check something here. Also, there's some crows down there. Gotta be aware of these crows. I just noticed that. Yeah, not doing that. Not doing that at all. Really not doing that at all. You probably noticed what I did. So let me just show this. I wonder if Provoke works on Starves. I forget if it does, but as I said, Nasir is surprisingly fast. And he hits extremely hard. And he's incredibly bulky. His main weakness is being slow moving and the lack of 1-2 range though, but he is very, very powerful in this state. Pretty much being a warrior crossed with a decent speed class, crossed with a general, crossed with ridiculous resistance. And highest, like, those raw stats are insane, but they are let down by the lack of 1-2 range. What am I going to do here? I think I might Ragnall you, and then I could try and have Miss finish you off, but Miss skill is pretty bad, she could miss. And that would mean, most likely, death. I also need to pay attention to the boss's, Rain. No, she has 100% hit rate, nice. And also because she's in support range of Ike, this is a 10% critical bonus, but no critical. Know from experience this is not going to give Mist enough for rank up in swords. But she's getting close. Oh, right, I should also trade the Restore Staff over. Because otherwise it will take me a little longer to actually get the Restore Staff over there where I need it to be. Let's have Titania go down here just for now. Yeah, I need to remember that when my turn doesn't end like that, it usually means it's just because of, well, I guess Baroque doesn't work on Starves. I'm pretty sure Nasir is almost entirely immune to status Starves because his resistance is so insane. So that's pretty cool. What's not cool is this sniper, who I'll probably eliminate with Jill next turn. Why the heck did you do that? Oh, right, Provoke. Keep forgetting that he has Provoke. And he doubles cats, but that's mostly because these cats are really slow. But still, Nasir is very fun. I find him really fun. Hi there, Feral 1 Tiger. You might actually damage Jill. Yes, but only by 4. It is satisfying to see their HP bar drop that much. due to the effectiveness bonus. One of the few effectiveness weapons in this game that's not terrible. But I don't want to wear it out too much, because like I said, I might need this in the final chapter. Oh, look, a cat that actually damaged Jill. That's extremely impressive. Too bad you're now dead, because of Lagu's axe. I'm not really liking this, though, because you're worth a lot of experience. But at least endgame, like, at this point, I'm not worried. Everyone is going to hit level 20 by the end of the game, because there's a lot of experience to be had in endgame as well. That could actually be kind of helpful. Was that A or probably was an S? Though S rank in axes is pretty much useless. And this is thinning out the enemy numbers, but I am a little worried about this because of experience. Yeah. Losing quite a lot of it here. Also losing quite a lot of uses on Lagu's axe. Losing all the uses on the Lagu's axe. Nice not paying attention, me. But here comes some really pathetic crows. Speaking of pathetic, I just regained all of the damage you did to me. That was probably a crit. I don't think she would have been doing that much damage naturally, so yeah, that was probably a soul crit. And yeah, Titania's level's getting a bit higher than I thought it would be. Something to talk about regarding Titania, though, is it was only recently pointed out to me in comments that Titania's got very strength screwed this playthrough. I haven't been noticing, but she has a 45% strength growth, and her strength is just barely higher than her base. So she hasn't gained strength in about 16 levels, which, again, really weird that I never noticed that. So that's kind of bizarre, and okay. Here's the thing. I need to get rid of this bishop. The problem is, I don't want to get in range of both of these guys, and also there's bolting, but wait a minute. Bolting's not in range, so the thing about locking in this guy's attack range is that attack ranges that are locked in this game assume that the enemy can move, and this boss doesn't move, obviously. It is a really annoying thing about the way that locking in attack ranges works in this game. I say in this game a lot, but I like to point out how things work in some games compared to other games. Because as I was saying, the annoying thing about that is that it doesn't count enemies that can't move as not being able to move. The first game in the series to actually do that was Shadow Dragon. So in Shadow Dragon, if you try and lock in the attack range of an enemy who can't move, it will show them as not being able to move. Not so much here, and that could have been really useful. But then again, this was the first game ever where you could lock in enemy attack ranges. That's not bad, but I'd appreciate you capping speed. You usually have capped speed by now. Okay, here's the thing. I need to... I might also need to have Soren heal Mist, because I would maybe like to Racing her and then... No, wait, I need to use the restore stuff on Nephany, so might not be able to do that. For now, Little Lord Ike is going to do that, because I want Soren to gain a bit of extra experience, but I also don't want Soren to get attacked by dragons, also Longbow. So Soren can head down here, and, oh, that's a rare case. I guess you must be kind of fast, because I'm not doubling you with Elthunder. Even though I am with Elwind. But seeing as Indignation is just a regular Thunder Tome, I'll definitely double with that. But I'm saving that for, I guess, the boss for irony points. You'll see why. I really want to try and get the boss to use his S-rank spell, because it looks very cool, and I really want to show that. And I also really hope I don't break the Brave Lance. That's a bit of a mouthful, but I hope that doesn't happen. No more sleep for you, which means all we have to deal with is silence. And silence... Have I ever seen an enemy actually use silence, let alone hit with it? I don't think I've seen an enemy use silence before. Okay, as I promised, I'm going to be, I have to use the Brave Axe, which means those birds are probably going to go for Jill and waste more uses of the Brave Axe and also waste their experience. It is kind of fun using a Brave Weapon with Adept, because you can potentially get some 8 attacks in. Could have Nasir tank these dragons and other ones, but I don't really want him to be hitting level 20. Because even though he technically can get transfer bonuses, it's not that useful for him to get transfers. Really not that useful. Because even though he does join in Radiant Dawn, it's not until very... I need to trade with you, not Titania. It's not until very, very late. Thankfully, you can still chant after trading. And he's very unlikely to get transfer bonuses anyway, because all of his caps are absurdly high. Like, he has a 40 strength and defense cap, I think. There is no way he's getting that high. Even with stat boosters, I don't think there's any way he's getting that high. So, yeah, Nasir, sadly, not one for really getting transfer bonuses. At least I can restore you. Yeah, normally Miss doesn't gain much in the way of transfer bonuses when I play these games, but it seems like she might in this playthrough, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, so the moment that I put Nasir in range of either of you, you're going to be attacking him because it's Provoke. Let me just check dragons. Okay, good, dragons are fine. Don't want to waste that, let's just equip them. I mean, it's lowering your avoid only very slightly. Yeah, one cool thing about Nasir is that he can shove pretty much anyone, so sometimes I like to give him Smite if I have nothing better to give him. Okay, here's dragon number 1. Speaking of dragons and their breath, I guess I can just mention something. The in-game description of Nasir's breath says the icy breath of a white dragon, which is probably not... well, I don't know if it's a mistranslation or just the localization making stuff up, but it's not actually true. White dragons in this game seem to be light magic based, so the breath is more condensed light magic than ice. Red dragons don't even seem to be breathing fire either, it's just this weird sort of reddish, pinkish mist sort of thing. Pretty sure if this was any lower difficulty, Gatri would be able to double the dragons, but their speeds are not that low on hard mode. Again, I would appreciate you guys not attacking Jill, but I guess she's the only thing you can go for. That's kind of a thing with the enemy AI in Fire Emblem games. It's usually like, if there is something I can attack, I will do it, even if it will guarantee my death and I won't do any damage. Some Fire Emblem games don't do that. Like, I know that in FE4, there are some point... Well, that's not good. That was 3 uses of the Brave Axe gone. There are some Fire Emblem games, like FE4, where, like, I've seen enemies intentionally not attack Ced if they know that he has 100% evasion against them, but they'll still go for him if he has 99% evasion, which is pretty funny. Okay, now Nasir does have Provoke and the boss has Bolting, which is effective against him. However, although, yeah, that tripled is going to be hurting quite a lot. He'll be taking damage even in spite of his massive resistance, so maybe let's not do that. Maybe let's instead, this is why I brought the Lagoo's Lance. Gatri, oh, Gatri is now a Super Dragon Slayer. Yeah, speaking of which, I'll need to, and also, the dragon fell through him. You can kind of just imagine the dragon's, like, neck just falling on Gatri and pinning him to the ground, and him going, help me, please. There actually aren't that many enemies left, which is sort of surprising. Jill took care of the majority of them, unfortunately. But yeah, as long as most people get up to level 19, I should be fine here. Because I can make sure they all hit level 20 during the next chapter, and also with bonus experience, I should be able to get a few of them up to 20 as well, because there's no reason not to use all your bonus experience in the next chapter. Also, I'm going to have a lot of fun spending my gold in the next chapter, because there's no reason not to spend all your gold there either. Because you can't access the shop during the trial maps. You might as well, and you might also as well sell anything you're not planning on using. So yeah, next base is where I'm glad that I'm splitting the faces apart from the rest of the chapter when it comes to videos. I hope that that's been okay with all of you so far. Like, that's the way that I like to do this. It's how I did it for Fates with the My Castle. I did that in a separate part to the actual core chapters. That's how I did that in Fates, and I hope it's been okay here. I'll be doing that approach with Radiant Dawn as well. It's just that I like to do the entire chapter in one video, even though that can be very long sometimes. The only Fire Emblem games where I make an exception to that rule are FE4, because obviously, screw doing an entire chapter in one video in that game. And also, well, I mean, maybe if you're speedrunning, you can do the entire chapter in one video in Fire Emblem 4, but have I ever seen a Fire Emblem 4 speedrun before, actually, now that I think about it? Alright, a lot of people are slightly injured. What the heck, let's go for Fortify. I'll have the Ashura Staff in the final chapter anyway. Kinda looks like the Serenez Forest when it got restored. It also gives an insane amount of experience. And that wasn't great, but oh well. Probably should have positioned Miss better, because now I can... Or I could race and over here. But let's make sure you go in a straight line, because going zigzag like that actually will consume a little bit more of your movement. And we'll have to watch out for that dragon near the boss, because he is incredibly painful, but... Yeah, he usually doesn't move all that much, but he may one-shot Soren. 48 attack against 12 defense. So... Yeah, he just barely doesn't one-shot Soren, but if Soren takes any damage from anything else, then, yeah, Soren is going down. But do either of you do any damage to Soren? Yeah, neither of you can hurt him with his resistance. The boss can, though. So, that will result in dead Soren. Yeah, there's no way I can get Soren out of range of that. That's kind of a problem, actually, because I wanted to try and lure in those two mages, but I don't want Soren to die to the boss. Except if I equip Elwind, that means... But I'll use both uses of it to kill that thing, so... Yeah, okay, so your hit rate is... Yeah, Soren will still potentially get hit by that, which I don't want, so let's instead just form up around... I can't hear form up seriously anymore because of Radiant Dawn's cutscenes, which I will definitely be talking about when we get there. A lot of people have said so far they think the voice acting in this game is terrible, but, you ain't seen nothing yet. You really, really ain't seen nothing yet. Radiant Dawn is miles worse in the voice acting department. Just you wait. It's not gonna be pretty. But I am really looking forward to making fun of that. Okay, level up for you, which is nice. Come on, speak. Getting a lot of no-ups this chapter, but yeah, I might, in that case, that could be bad. She has the restore staff, and she can't exactly restore stuff herself if she's silenced. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to not... Make sure Soren doesn't level up here. And make sure I level up Soren with bonus experience in the next base, just to reset for his speed cap, because getting Soren transfer bonuses in speed is actually kind of helpful for Radiant Dawn. Even though his caps were atrocious in that game. Mages, Radiant Dawn is not a good game for mages at all. Mages are probably at the worst they've ever been in the series in Radiant Dawn, and that's... Well, that's not really... Because mages are usually pretty good, but yeah. Radiant Dawn, not a kind game for mages. So it's only fitting that they happen to give you a main character who's a mage in that game. Thought you were summoning reinforcements for a second. If that had hit, I might have liked that because of Wrath, but oh well. Okay, I guess there's more opportunities to gain a bit of experience here. But like I said, I don't want Soren to level up. I want to make sure that guess I can... Actually, I won't even need the Laguz Lance to Voomph you. I can Voomph you with an Iron Sword, and I still want Gatry to level up to a D in Swords. Because while Steel Swords aren't great, they're at least better than Iron. I mean, Iron Swords are useful in a lot of circumstances, and Gatry's strength is so high that he does well even with them. Now, come on, Speed. Well, at least you got it, but I still doubt you're going to be able to cap that by the end of the game, because I think your speed cap is not that low. And my speed wings would be better served on some other people. I don't like that dragon. I want that dragon gone now. Or at least pretty close to now. However, unless I get very lucky with Adept, that's probably not going to happen. Also... Yeah, I also really don't want Sora to level up, but let's just try this for now. Not going to give enough experience to push you over the edge. I was hoping for a crit or Adept. I was also hoping for a crit or Adept, but I got neither, so I'm going to have to improvise here. Okay, good. If this tiger is gone, then Nephany can get to the dragon. Just need to make sure the tiger is gone. But I kind of want Titania to take care of this bishop. Doing just over its HP too, which is nice. And yeah, the purple of your face really does suit the Zeekinator. Okay, that's you gone, so now I need to deal with a tiger. Don't do that. That would be terrible, because then the tiger would attack Racing. I guess I could do this and then try and finish with either Mist or... I don't know, let me just check something. Well, she won't die. If I can get rid of the other tiger, which I may be able... not quite. But I think Stefan can shove Ike. I do think it's kind of cool that Stefan actually has a really large amount of weight, like as in constitution, because he's really huge. Mostly did that for the weapon experience. But not enough for a level up. But if I do that, I will be able to race in both Missia and Miss, which is kind of nice. The problem is the boss is probably going to continue bolting if he has targets in range. I really, really want to show what Rex Bolt looks like, because I doubt I'll be using it myself. Technically speaking, I do have footage of Rex Bolt, though, but there's a joke that I really want to make about it. It does look very cool, though, at least in my opinion. So, let's... Something Southern's not quite enough, so let's go for this. Please don't miss with a 91, Nephany. That would be terrible. Yeah, I'm going to need to race and mist and heal Nephany, because I think she might take that much damage from bolting. The boss does hit pretty hard with that. Yeah, so that tiger needs to be gone. For good measure, I'll get Stefan in the race and huddle. That's what this formation is going to be called now, a race and huddle. I still love being able to refresh the movement of 4 people per turn, it's just great. You can do that in FE4 as well. That does just enough, nice. I was about to say, come on, Ether, but then you crit. So that's everyone gone except the boss. I just realized that the HP bar has space for up to 80 HP, but 60 is the cap. Although Laguz can go above 60. Like, they all cap at 80, so I guess that makes sense. It's not like the GBA games where you can't ever get anyone who goes up to 80 HP, but the bar can still theoretically go that high. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess it's more experience. And like I said, we do have the Ashura Staff, so that's basically an even better version of Fortify. I could do this, but yeah, that would just be devastating to you, and I really want to show your spell. So yeah, that thing that I was going to mention about this guy's hilarious boss conversations. A lot of them with Lagoos can basically be summed up as, I don't know if that's a feral one or an enemy. I'll attack it just to be sure. Which is pretty great. I guess I'll have to race and Gatry. Gatry's not going to be doubling you, so... Guess Soren could fight this thing. We're getting closer and closer to level 20 on everyone. If Gatry gets a little more experience, then I might be able to cap off everyone with bonus experience in the next chapter. Which will be definitely a very good thing. Because I don't have much more uses for bonus experience. How many... Okay, you still have 2 boltings to go. If I run you out of boltings entirely, you're probably going to end up... Okay, if I run you out of boltings entirely, let me rephrase that, I'm going to run out of turns for bonus experience, so... Yeah, that could be an issue. Let me just check something. This here does not double you, and does double you. Okay, so it's a higher priority to take this guy down. Though I was going to have Gatry attack some of them. But I do want Miss to get as much weapon experience as she can. She really needs to get a C rank, and I think she's very close. It's another annoying thing about not being able to view how close you are to a weapon rank up in Path of Radiance. Yes, there we go, good. So no more fighting for you this chapter, Mist. And instead, that doesn't do enough. Instead, I'm gonna have you get into a racing huddle down here. You'll have 10 crit, so you'll have 19 crit, and Nasir has 17 luck. I really don't want him getting critted by the boss, obviously. Don't want Stefan getting critted by the boss either. I feel like the safest bet to stick right in front of this guy is Soren, because he's not going to be doing much to Soren, even with Rex Bolts. I still really, really want to show what Rex Bolt looks like, because it has a very awesome animation. Okay, so let's see if you like a Silver Lance. Yes, you definitely do like a Silver Lance. Well, like by my definition of like, which means get critted in one shot and die. Yeah, that's my definition of like. Don't quote me on that. Please don't quote me on that. That sounded really bad now I think about it. Anyway, let's just finish you off with an Iron Sword and just get Gatry a little closer to level 20. Do like how you can see the tower in the background here, and also unnecessary Luna. Believe me, we'll be seeing a lot of unnecessary skill activations in Radiant Dawn. I guess while we're on the subject of feral ones, I can probably mention something. This game has unused data for Fang and Talon weapons, just like the Lagoos in Radiant Dawn use. But in this game, all birds use beaks and all beasts use claws. So it seems like it was intended at one point for Lagoos to have different types of weapons like they do in Radiant Dawn. Why'd they make it 40? Nobody is going to have 40 luck in this game. Yeah, it's really... Also, hovering over someone and just seeing your face with an exclamation mark is pretty good. Right. How many uses of that do you have? Still 2. Yeah, I wish I could steal that. I suppose this would be not a bad use for corrosion either. Not that there are any good uses for corrosion, but still. Okay, Nasir's untransformed, but he's still going to be able to lure in things with Provoke. If I stick Gatry right in front of you, are you going to Rex Bolt him? The issue is that Oh, I guess we can actually see this guy's true bolting range if I do this and block him off so he can't move. That's actually pretty funny. I didn't realize that you could do that, but yeah. This is his real bolting range. And I think Ike, unfortunately, has to stay in range of the boss, because I need to seize as soon as I can. Doesn't look like anyone needs healing. Well, I mean, I guess it's... Notice he doesn't. Suppose I can just do that. Just to get a little bit of extra experience for racing. Even though he's not going to get transfer bonuses, and to be honest, transfer bonuses just are not important for racing in the slightest. At least Soren can heal a little bit. I wish I could get him up to a C in Stars, because Soren with Physic is great. But doesn't look like it. So yeah, question is, are you going to bolting someone, or are you going to use Rex Bolt on Gatry? No, you're going to bolting someone. That made my heart skip a beat for a second, because if that had criticals, I'd have to restart this. But no more bolting for you, which means I can show Rex Bolt finally. Also, this guy's boss dialogue with Ike is amazing. But yeah, I don't like that crit rate. But I also don't like the idea of fighting with Soren, because if Soren wins, then Soren will level up and might not gain speed, and thus I may have to use a speed bing on him. I guess I can show fighting him with Mist, though. So yes, we're about to see Rex Bolt. I dwell amidst the abounding light of heaven. Thou art at the gates to the underworld. And unfortunately the animation was too short for me to give the whole speech, but I might as well. Come forth, thundered gods. This ends here. Indignation. I'm sorry, I love reenacting the terribly voiced opening of Tales of Fantasia because it's one of the funniest things ever in my opinion. I suppose I can go for... Actually, wait, no. If Stefan misses, this might not end well. You know what? Nefany is fairly close to max level. Or Gatry. Nefany or Gatry could do this. In fact, maybe Gatry. And then I'll just see if I can finish this chapter. Because we need to rescue Leanne, of course. But yes, that's what I named Soren's Tome after, by the way. Oh, and of course, it wouldn't be complete without, what the heck is that? Not how you want your big band to be reacting to being hit by his one weakness. Well, sorry for you, but Master Izuka was only a cameo, and he won't be taking any further part in this game. No, really, he doesn't even appear even in the ending cutscene for the chapter. And we have Rex Bolt, which unfortunately no one in our army can use. If I got Soren up to an A in Thunder, I could arm scroll him to get an S, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. So, let's just... Is there anyone I can heal? I don't think so. So, let's end this. And so we have a bit of a dilemma. As tends to happen in RPGs pretty often, we've gone to rescue someone only for an NPC to have already rescued them by the time we get there. Good news though, he's coming back. I can just imagine him just delivering this line with just the most trollish tone possible. Oh look, it's you again! I can just imagine Ike's tone there too. So hey, he didn't betray us once, he actually saved Leanne! Yeah, he kind of has his reasons. And of course, he's being all Sunder about this. Yep, I'm definitely not doing this for any emotional reason. I was forced into doing this. I'm not on your side at all. Wow, I'm surprised Tivan actually chose to deal with him and trusted him not to backstab, but I guess where Leanne is involved, that's the one time you can trust this guy not to backstab you. Usually. So this was the payment for that, so Tiban doesn't have to rip his wings off. But, you know, that was a pretty bad thing you did. You need to pay off your debts even more, so how about staying and helping us? I love that as well. Leanne, can you convince him? That would mean we have multiple Laguz Kings on our side against Ashnod. Yeah, those Feral One's ravens we fought must have all been fellow people of Kilvas. Aren't you the one who's always going on about how you'd do anything for your nation? But we're about to be interrupted. Yes, I made a very good perception roll and found out there was a hidden trapdoor. Although granted, considering how good dragons are at sensing things, he probably wouldn't even need that. So we don't directly see what everyone is seeing, but given their reactions, it must be pretty horrifying. I feel like if they actually showed this game would get an M rating easily. This is how the Feral Ones are made. Laguz are horribly tortured and drugged, to the point where they get stuck in animal form and become living weapons. Remember when I said Izuku is one of the most horrible people in the entire duology? I meant it. The worst part is, like, he may be even a reference to some actual things that have happened in real wars. And yeah, not only did Ashnard use the Feral Ones as living weapons, he also used them as gladiatorial sport for his warriors. Ashnard may be pretty equal opportunity when it comes to strength and class, but he's still just as racist as most of Dayan. One scholar in particular. This was all hinted at in, you know, all the way back in chapter 14, if you had Mordecai fight Gashilama back there. He talked about having to trick him into drinking the medicine. Oh yeah, also becoming a Feral One shortens their lifespan drastically. I'm just thinking about it, considering what the forbidden magic could have done if Rayson had used it, can you imagine what would happen if a heron was turned into a Feral One? Yeah, Ina has business at the capital, so she might as well stay with us. And time for a very strange conversation. So we're almost at the very end of the game, and they decide that now would be a good time to give you a fourth wall breaking, you're a jerk for enjoying this game's gameplay conversation. It's really weird. So yes, next chapter will be the last one. This. Basically, they're taking a jab at players who are like, oh no, when the game is over, I won't be able to get everyone to level 20. Like, it might have been a hint as to, if you want transfer bonuses, you might want to make sure everyone is level 20 now, but it's weird. It's just like chapter 20. It's like, yeah, you should feel bad for wanting to level up your people. Even though that's part of the point of the game. It's a really weird conversation, and I feel like it doesn't have any reason to be there, but yeah, I lost a little bit of bonus experience because I wanted to wait out bolting, but I just wanted to show off indignation. I mean, Rex Bolt, yeah.
Come forth, thunder of the gods, it ends here. Indignation!
Anyway, that is that chapter over. Next time we head to Endgame. We face Ashnard, and we finally find out what the whole deal is with Ina. So look forward to that. Also look forward to one of Elincia and Ike's finest moments.